Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. Um, so today I'm going to run through because I know it's the middle of the day, and I'm sure this session, a lot of you do still work full time, and thanks so much for joining me on your lunch break. So I will keep it to under an hour. I have the chat box enabled, so if you have any questions, I'm working from a laptop, so I don't have my big monitor on, so I can't really see everything, but I'll try to check in during the presentation to see any questions during each slide. If not, we can just do a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So let's get into it. So the presentation is about how to get the money to start your fashion and beauty business. And, the whole point is getting at least $30,000 in 30 days. And this is the number that helped me start my business full time. So that's why I said I was able to get $32,500. And by the methods that I'm going to go over today. And so this is something that I'm able to do for my clients, for myself, and this is something that you're going to be able to do for yourself. So let's get into it. So my promise to you is that I will show you exactly how to get the money you need to start or run your business and grow your business quickly. So you won't have to deal with a lot of red tape or declines or work 18 hours a day trying to save the money to start your business. If you make it to the end, I'll be sure to share with you the secret to running a viral crowdfunding campaign. So funding doesn't have to just be loans. You can also get funding by doing crowdfunding. I'm sure you guys get the emails for Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or GoFundMe. But if you want to run a viral one, I'll share the secret with you at the end. Okay, let's get to it. So I want you to turn off all distractions. If you're a startup founder and you're serious about funding your fashion or beauty business, the next 60 minutes will change your life, as it did mine. Speaking of, my name is Juliet Abodo. I'm a financial consultant. I spent the past 3 years in the alternative lending industry. So anything from business loans, merchant cash advances, lines of credit, funding with equipment or with your credit card processing machine. I know all the nuts and bolts of the alternative lending industry. I worked with different startups for the past 10 years to 3x their sales. I've been featured in Yahoo Finance, Pop Sugar, and Stylecaster for my work with different brands as a blogger. And I've been able to help over 1,200 businesses get funded in the past 18 months. I've started 3 businesses myself, and 2 of them failed, leaving me bankrupt. So finally, I'm able to understand that you do need cash flow and you do need capital if you want to build a sustainable business. So let's get into it. 17 ways to fund your startup. There are a lot of different funding options available for startup businesses. And the thing is that this industry, they don't really promote to startups. And that's because you don't get commission on it. So anyone that you see, the companies, the advertisers, they're advertising because they make money off of these type of lending options. And with startups, you don't make a lot of commission, you don't make a lot of money, so they're not advertising to you. But there are options available, and they often provide access to $25, $50, and even $100,000. Now, there are a lot of funding options out there that will not work for startups. So let's cover those just so you're not wasting your time when you create your plan, your funding plan, and start reaching out to lenders or to sources. I want you to take these people off your list. So the first is our traditional banks. So traditional banks lend to more established businesses, and oftentimes they're brick and mortar. So if you're an online business, if you're planning to run your brand online versus a brick and mortar, it's going to be difficult to get money from a traditional bank. In addition to that, you need good personal credit. And if you do have good personal credit, the most that a traditional bank can do for you is give you a business credit card. And I put business in quotation marks because it's not really a business credit card. It's a credit card with your business's name on it, but it still affects your personal credit score, which is not good for you as a business owner, because you're oftentimes going to have to max your card out to run your business, especially if you're using it as capital. And if you're familiar with the way that credit scores work, the closer you to maxing out your card, the worse your score gets. So you're penalized for using the money that they give you to start your business when you're using it to run your business. So that's why I put business credit card in quotation marks. Later on in the presentation, I'll explain the difference and how you can actually get a real business credit card. Another option that you shouldn't look into as a startup is cash flow financing. And so you've probably seen the ads that says fast cash today or bad credit okay. And sometimes they'll let you know that you're not welcome, saying no startups, because these merchant cash advances or these cash infusions are for businesses that have been established. So you have to be in business at least a year. And then the requirement is you actually have to have revenue, at least $8,000 in revenue in order to qualify. And your credit has to be over 550. So if this is the case, then you really shouldn't need this influx of cash. If you're a business that's doing 8K in revenue and you've been in business for a while, you should have established practices that increase your cash flow or that gives you a steady stream of cash. So oftentimes if you are in that situation, there are other options for you versus these merchant cash advances. But that's why it's important to get money before you actually need money, which is something I tell my clients. They say, yes, I've saved up $10,000, $15,000. But the thing is, you want to hold on to that cash. You want to hold on to that savings for later on and take money out or get money from another source to incorporate into your business. So as I mentioned, with cash flow financing, you need to be in business for a year and have over $10,000 in monthly revenue. So let's get into the sources that you can access as a startup. So one of the first sources that you can do if you're interested in starting a business is going on to sites like Lending Club. And then on Lending Club and sites similar to Lending Club, you can borrow up to $300,000 from complete strangers. And this is what is known as a peer-to-peer loan. The con is that you have to have really good credit to qualify for a P2P loan. And a lot of times that's just a minimum requirement. So if you have challenged credit, a credit score in the 500s or low 600s, you won't get approved for a loan. And if you just make the mark, your loan rates can be quite high. So it's not advantageous to a startup to start your business borrowing money and then having to deal with the high interest rate. So that is an option, but it's one that I don't really promote unless you have the requirements set in order to take advantage of it. Another option for startups, this one I do recommend, and it's a great option, is our collateral-based loans. So with collateral-based loans, you can actually use your assets as collateral for the loan. So it can be your car, your house, anything that is considered an asset, your motorcycle. And so rates on this type of financing for a startup are great, and they're low, and they're often less than 5%. And so as a startup, you want really low payments so you have time to ramp up. And with collateral-based loans, if you yourself don't own anything, this is when friends and family can come into play. So instead of borrowing cash from them, you can access their collateral and ask them to put their asset as collateral for your business in exchange for a percentage. So it's a more conservative way to borrow money from friends and family. Now, security-based financing. So if any of you have stock, you can actually use your existing stocks as leverage to get business financing. And you can borrow as much as 90% of the value of your stocks. And you can continue to earn interest on the stocks as that you're pledging as collateral. So I actually finally closed the deal for a client. It's a fashion manufacturing company that he wasn't able to get money from a traditional bank. He wasn't able to even get money from the merchant cash advance people. And it's crazy, but he actually had stocks. So with the security-based financing, we were able to get him $250,000. And it's funny because he was actually going to the bank to borrow just $35,000. And this is what I mean, where these options that we're going over, they're not advertised, and they're not the information isn't readily available because people don't make a lot of money off of this. Working with me I want to make you money, and I want you to get the money to start your business because that is my goal. So I'm very happy, and we're very excited that we were able to get this money so they can expand their team and start doing some manufacturing in China and in New York. 401k financing. This is great for those of you that are still working 9 to 5. You can actually use your existing 401k or IRA as collateral for business financing. You don't have to suffer any tax penalties, and you can close and fund within 1 to 3 weeks. All of the options that I'm going over today, that's why I say 30K in 30 days, because a lot of times you want to start and fund your business. You want to do this. You want to get started. You don't want to wait a year to start your business. You can get this money quickly. 401k financing, I actually helped my mother pull money to start her business. So she was able to pull from her, she's a nurse, and she was able to pull from her money from her 401k, and we were able to start her business. And she got the money in about 2 weeks, actually. So it was really fast. Accounts receivable. So accounts receivable is great for those of you in the service industry. So you don't actually just have to have products. So if you do any design work or sketches for clients in the fashion or beauty industry, you can actually use the invoices and the outstanding accounts as receivables for financing. So instead of waiting 60 to 90 days, you can get as much as 80% of your receivables to you in less than 24 hours. So this is great if you're a service-based provider. Now, if you are a provider that provides products, for example, one of my clients does the little glass cups with straws for Busch Gardens. And so, every year Busch Gardens places a large order, but it's Busch Gardens, so their payment days are about 90 days. So placing such a large order, my client has to spend a lot of money on materials and staff and then shipping. All of this up front is a lot of money just to wait 90 days to get paid. So luckily with the accounts receivable, he's able to get his money up front, 80% of it. And then after the invoice is paid, the rest is released. So you don't have to put your production on hold if you get a large order, especially as you're growing. So if you're a fashion designer or you're a beauty brand, you can actually get these orders in and then have accounts receivable financing. So you're able to pay for the cosmetic ingredients, pay for everything involved to take care of the order. So you can pay for the office supplies and the fabric. All of this can be taken care of as you expand and as you grow. And even before you start opening your doors to your business, you can start taking orders. Now, if you have a lot of product, you can actually use your existing inventory as collateral for business financing. So I recommend, if you're going to use this option, that you have about $500,000 worth of inventory or more. So then you can get a line of credit for about 50% of your inventory value, and its funding is also less than a month. So I had a client that does the high-tech sports fabric manufacturing, and they had about $500,000 worth of these jackets in inventory. So we were able to use that as leverage to get financing. So they received about $150,000. So they were able to hire a sales team, work on Facebook ads, social media and campaigns, and they actually got about $1.4 million worth of orders, just because they used the money and they were really strategic about how they used the money to make sure that they were able to sell all of their inventory once it was done and once it was completed. So inventory financing is a great option if you have a lot of product. Now, equipment financing is something that I love to present to clients, because oftentimes people, when I do set up the funding strategy calls on the site for new clients, I ask them what they need the money for. Because, you can start a business with very little money, but so it's really important that they need the money and they're not just taking this money out to just have it. So a lot of times when we break down the costs and the expenses, it comes down to equipment. So I just started working with a jewelry designer who wanted to expand off of Etsy and start to do really intricate designs with gold and then also initialing. So LightScribe, if any of you are jewelry designers, is a very expensive machine. It looks small, but it's about $80,000. And so a lot of her startup costs came from purchasing the LightScribe machine. So instead of having to worry about getting $125,000 to start her business and get off Etsy, she was able to get this for about $3,000. And so with equipment financing, you can just get the financing to purchase or lease new equipment, and you can be approved as just with first and last month payments down. So, she went from $125,000 to just needing $15,000. So it's really important that when you create your funding strategy, you outline all the details, all your expenses. Where is it coming from? Is it equipment? Is it logistics? Is it staff? So then you're able to really identify what you need the money for, if you can cut costs, or if you can find another alternative to, instead of just actually getting cash to influx into that area. On the other side of that, you can do equipment sale leaseback. So if you already own equipment, you can use it as collateral to get financing. So if she finishes her payments with the LightScribe machine and she decides to open a brick and mortar store, she can actually lease back the equipment to a lender for cash. And so this funding, again, can happen as little as 3 weeks. So, as I mentioned, friends and family, that is another option. But it's very important to make sure that you have it in writing so you can avoid any of the further misunderstandings. Because when, you have friends and family that believe in you, but, if your company gets huge, gets big, money can destroy a lot of relationships. So you want everything in writing, and you can use a promissory note to do just that. Angel investors and venture capitalists. So this is a popular option that's always aligned with startups. And this is what a lot of startups or new businesses think that they need to do in order to start their business. So a lot of times people kind of wait or just, discount their idea or their business because they can't get an angel investor or venture capitalist. But because with both angel investors and VCs, you can raise money debt-free, but it's really important to establish upfront contractually how much control they have in a company. Because as I mentioned before, I worked with startups in the past. So, even after second round of funding, they had to let go of most of their sales team, and the founder sees his company basically disappearing, becoming something different altogether. And that can be heartbreaking. So if your company is something that you want to keep in the family, it's important. I would kind of stay away from them until you're in the position where you don't need to be bought, so you can have more control up front. And so, we just went through slides and slides of different options to start your fund up. To fund your startup, but angel investors and VCs are an option. Now, the Small Business Administration actually does have startup loans available. A lot of people don't know this. They have two new programs. So they have the Community Advantage Program and the Microloan Program. And so these are for new underserved businesses. So if you are a fashion or beauty startup that's either green or eco, or you're doing something that's really making a social change, then you have the advantage and you have the opportunity to apply for this type of funding. The Community Advantage Program lets your startup borrow up to $250,000, and the Microloan Program provides smaller loans up to $50,000. But the only thing with these options is that you have to be working full-time, or your spouse, you have to show that you have some type of income to repay the loan. So there are some stipulations involved, and then also the type of startup that you have or that you're planning to start is also important. Now, business credit cards. So I mentioned earlier that I would get into the difference between just a card that for your business and a business credit card. The difference is that I highly recommend business credit. This is great for startups because you can get really low interest rates with just your stated income. Hardly any financials are needed. And then it's 0% financing for 6 to 18 months, which is amazing for startups. So you start your business with this money, and then you're able to take the next year getting the money to pay it back. You can get up to $50,000 to $100,000 in financing without a personal guarantee. And this is important because personal guarantee can really mess you up, especially when it's attached to your business. There's a lot of risk involved in business, so you don't really want to wrap your personal finances involved, even if you're just starting off. You can get business credit immediately as a startup, and so it's great, especially for startups with multiple founders. So if you have 2 startup founders, you can get up to $150,000 each. And $300,000 is a great amount of money to start a business. The pros is that you don't need good credit, no collateral, you don't have to already have revenue. So the doors don't exactly have to be open, or you have to be making sales in order to get business credit. Business credit is linked to your EIN number, not your social security number. So you're building a score that's linked to your business. And so you're building your business up. And then you're removing your personal liability, which is important, especially if you're in a business partnership. So a lot of times the way it works is that you start with vendor credit. And so you start with those who offer services and products that you'll need to start your business. So if you're a makeup line, you may need cosmetic ingredients. If you're a designer, fabric, ink, office supplies, salon supplies, you could get credit for office supplies with limits of $2,500 immediately. And then you have a business credit score, and then you can build from there. And then after 60 days, then you're able to get higher limits, up to $10,000 with store accounts like major stores like Dell, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy. And so this is a great way to get money to fund your business and to take care of business expenses. So you made it to the end. I like to keep these presentations under an hour. I've been on webinars that have been an hour and 30, and you know, I myself, I feel like I can give you this information, and then if you wanted to expand upon it, we can set up a meeting afterwards. But I really just wanted everyone to go over this, and then I'm in finance, so I know that this information isn't exactly stimulating, but thanks so much for making it almost to the end. So with crowdfunding, you can focus on raising small amounts of money from large amount of people. And so this is done through Kickstarter, GoFundMe, Indiegogo. I'm sure that you guys have gotten an email or request from an old classmate or a Facebook friend or someone that you follow, someone that has gotten your email address to be able to fund their dream, or their trip to South Africa, or they're deciding to teach English somewhere in Japan and they need your help getting a plane ticket. You can actually use crowdfunding successfully to start your business. For example, if you are, and so the secret, first of all, is to have your backers lined up before you even start the campaign. So in order to have your backers lined up, you have to look at them as followers and email subscribers. These are people that will be interested in your product once it's launched. So if you have people that are interested in a particular type of laptop bag that you're designing, you're building buzz around it, and you're collecting their email addresses, and you have their information. They're added to your wait list. They're ready to go. And so when your campaign launches, you send out that message saying, hey, the campaign has launched. You guys can place your order for the special laptop backpack. And boom, right there, you have an influx of backers and traffic to your page. And then you can use that to send a press release out to different blogs and sources that will be interested in your product and say, hi, we've already raised X amount of money, almost hit our goal for this particular laptop bag, and we think your readers might want to get in and pre-order their laptop bag too. And so that's how you're able to have a viral campaign, because you have to show social proof. First, you have to have backers, and then you have to have social proof, which is done by simply seeing the number of backers that you have and the amount of people are already ready to invest in you. And then you reach out to other media sources to spread the news for you. So right there, you save a lot of money on marketing, and you save a lot of money on pre-production costs, because it's already done for you. And this model is actually something that you can continue to use to run your business. This is a screenshot from a site called Modo Operandi, where people pre-order designs from designers. So this isn't something that's foreign in the fashion industry. If you are a handbag designer, shoe designer, makeup line, you can set up pre-orders for your products and run your business that way. But you have to do it in an organized fashion, and you have to make sure that you're reaching out to people that want your product. So that's the secret to a viral crowdfunding campaign, and it can also be the secret to a successful company. Another way to fund your startup is joining an accelerator, excuse me. So with accelerators, it's great because you're able to get both funding and administrative support. The thing with accelerators is that they are highly competitive and they're very tech-centric. So if you're a fashion or beauty app, this is a great way to get the support you need. But a lot of times, you are catering to a different audience. So I know that Sephora and a number of other companies are looking into starting beauty and fashion accelerators for beauty and fashion founders, but the demand needs to be there. So who would love to have both funding and support? If you would love to have both funding and support, type 1 in the Q&A box. Would love to see. 1 million. Okay, awesome. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. So I'm not sure why you decided to join me today, but a lot of times it's maybe because you're struggling between the need to start your own business and wanting a stable income. So you could currently work 9 to 5 and you're trying to turn your side hustle into a full-fledged company. Or your current job has left you unfulfilled and now you're ready for a new challenge. And that challenge could be starting your own business or taking your creativity and turning it into dollars. You're probably tired of reading startup success stories and thinking, hey, that was my idea, but you just didn't know how to go about doing it and starting a business like that. Or you've already started your business, but you found it difficult to actually hit your sales goals, either because of time or because of the knowledge and information to do so. Or you're still in saving mode, but you still don't think you'll ever have enough to start your business, to really take the plunge and go at it alone. So I'd like to introduce you to the Smart Startup Program. This is a program that I've created based on my work with clients in the past. This is an online startup accelerator for fashion and beauty founders, excuse me. So you can start and fund your business in 30 days. I was able to do it. So many people are able to do it. And you'll be able to do it if you follow the program. So it's not a course. It's actually a done-for-you business service. So you are enrolled in the program, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on this trying to figure out the nuts and bolts of the industry. We are able to set up your business entity and foundation. We'll organize your personal finances. You'll get the seed funding you need to start your business, and we'll create a growth strategy, not just marketing, that will ensure that your business is profitable in just 1 year. It's all about helping you get the money you need to start your business without having to deal with a lot of red tape or declines or work 18 hours a day trying to save the money. And you can do it as little as 30 days. By being a smart startup founder, you're a real business owner. You can probably hold the title of founder, owner, CEO. You don't have to say, oh, I'm this and I have a side job or I have a side business. You are a real business owner. You can rest assured that your business will be one of the successful startups that makes it past their first year. And you won't have to work full-time or even part-time while running your business with this program. If you're reading this and wondering, is this chick stalking me? I'll tell you 3 things. Don't worry, I'm not. I was you, and that's why I get you and the pain points of what you're currently dealing with, because I was afraid to make the leap myself without having a net. And then when I did start my business, I struggled to really try to cut corners and save as much money as I could. But you know what? It's time to stop the struggle. I'd like to introduce you to a new way to start a company. No sweat, no tears, just business. The Smart Startup Program is a done-for-you business building service for brilliant and talented entrepreneurs in the fashion and beauty and tech industries. So you're able to start a real company and not have to deal with the headaches that come along with it, because you have a service, you have a team behind you. So as I mentioned, it includes personal finance and reorganization, a $1,100 value, business creation and foundation, funding, procurement, and growth and strategy. So the total value is about $5,000 for this service. And you know, all of us have disposable income. Most people get their paycheck each month, and a percentage of that goes to happy hour, Netflix, things like that. Well, you know, I'm not asking you to throw your money at something that's not going to give anything back to you. What I'm asking you to do is to invest your money in yourself, in your business, and get the benefit of starting a business without all the stress. So you have two options. You can do it slow and keep doing what you're currently doing and continue to see the same results, or you can do it quickly. Work with me and my team, and over the course of 6 months, we'll build you the brand and business that you've been dreaming of. We'll remove all of the headaches and obstacles of starting a business so you can focus on what's important, your purpose. I mean, do you really have the time? As a smart startup founder, you'll receive financial and administrative support that you need to start, fund, and grow your business. You'll be involved in a community, and it'll be our version of a beauty and fashion accelerator. So this program includes your personal finance and reorganization. So we improve your personal credit, and we look at your savings and everything to make sure that everything is in line with your business, because in order to run a successful business, you're the center of it. So we want to make sure that your personal finances are in line with your business goals. Then we'll have a business creation and foundation set up, where we'll make sure that either if you're a sole proprietor or LLC or S Corp, everything will be in place to make sure that your business foundation is strong. And then we'll focus on funding procurement. So we'll get you seed funding within the first 30 days, and then we'll focus on first round funding within 4 months. And then we'll also focus on a growth and revenue strategy. So growth marketing is based on getting you downloads, users, actual revenue versus just followers and likes. We're going to focus on how we can scale your business to where it needs to be within the first year. And if Smart Startup doesn't get you the help and the money that you need to start and run your business and grow your business quickly without having to work 18-hour days, we'll give you your money back. There is a guarantee. So this program is not a course on Instagram. It's not a course on, you know, getting to how to use a fashion design. This is a course based on, this is a business program that's focused on getting you money to start and run your business. And if we're not able to do that, then you do deserve to get your money back. So the total investment usually is $2,997 with the initial payment of $997. But I decided to create a webinar deal because I started to do webinars. This is the third one. So you guys can actually get started with the Smart Startup Program for $1,997. So that's $1,000 off to fund your dream. And so you're basically paying this money and you're guaranteed funding. It's a given. It's a matter of when, not if. And in addition to that, you can actually get started now for just $397, and then we could break it down into 3 payments of $525. So you can get started for $397 and get funded by the time your next payment is due. So the money doesn't have to come out of pocket. So you tell us, what is your ideal daily life? Do you want office space or to work from home? Will you need an army of VAs or a marketing firm to accomplish your business goals? Tell us what you need and we'll make sure that you get it. So get started now for just $397 and 3 payments of $525. I'm going to make sure that the offer loads so you can get the link here. And so you can join today, and it's $397 for the first month and then 3 payments of $527. And so this is something that I'm just offering to those of you that joined me on the webinar. The offer does end in 24 hours because I don't want this. This is not a service that I want to provide for that amount, just because of the work that we do and the guarantee behind it. You know, this is something that we want to attract the next Birchbox, the next Curlbox, the next Marc Jacobs. These are the type of founders that we want. And so we're willing to run these webinars, and we're willing to offer our services at this price in order to get you on board and to make sure that your business starts. So this is a limited time offer because you can see everything that's available in the program. And, you know, I would have loved to have this when I started my business to, you know, so I wouldn't have to spend all those nights and stressed out, sleepless nights, just trying to create a business. With the Smart Startup Program, you can focus on that. You can just focus on your business and we'll take care of the rest. So hopefully we'll see you register with us, and we can set up your first call and we can get started on getting you started and funded. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat box. Okay. Yes, so though this program is really for US and Canada-based companies, just because we want all the funding options that I mentioned on the slides available, we can assist you if you're in any other country get funding. It doesn't have to be through any of the, just all of the funding sources. We can still help you get your business funded and create a growth and revenue strategy based on your product. No, so we can help. You don't have to have good credit just to join the program, because what we do with the personal finance and restructuring is that we do help you improve your personal credit. So that comes included with the program. Yes, so with growth and revenue strategy, we do incorporate social media and branding and everything that's involved with that to make sure that your message is clear and you're able to attract the right audience. So you will get an increase in Instagram followers as a result of that, but that's not the focus. The focus is making sure your Instagram followers are actual buyers versus just followers. Yes, this offer is only available for 24 hours through the webinar. So after that, it goes back to the $29.97 and $9.97 to start. So definitely take advantage of it if you can. If you have any other questions, you can definitely shoot me an email at juliet@smartfunded.org. I'm open to any other options because I really want to focus on brands and companies that want to get started and that are ready to become one of those companies that have $1 million to $2 million in revenue. All right, so that looks like it's it for the questions. All right, thanks so much for attending. So take advantage of the offer. Hopefully we'll see you as part of the program. We'll be creating a Facebook group and community. So, you know, all the founders can collaborate and really, really take advantage of this opportunity. All right, I'm going to end the presentation. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can shoot me a note at juliet@smartfunded.org. Thank you.